Ready for quadruple A levels of fun with Like a Dragon fan favorite Majima Goro in his first solo protagonist stint in Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii? It'd be the first time we get to play Majima again after his extra story in Kiwami 2. But before we get to play our beloved Mad Dog, let's take a look back at some of our most favorite crazy, maniacal moments from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Majima.
Ore.
Spoilers for some of the following Yakuza games. Let's begin with the start of the timeline. 1980s Japan. It's Japan's bubble era. Money is flowing freely, and where there's money, there are scum who do anything to get a hold of that money. Enter Munancho, an organization, or more accurately, a cult, that brainwashes its followers to forget their loved ones. This makes them more vulnerable to being manipulated into handing over their money to the cult. Quite the dark situation, isn't it? But Majima bursts into the situation by request of the mother of one of the members of the cult to snap her out of it and bring her back. And what does he do in this dire situation? He does the hustle. Okay, sure, it's not a canon event because it's up to player choice whether he does or not, but damn it, it's canon to me. I first got into the fan base through Yakuza 0. The image of Majima trying to get into a cult by thrusting his hips around is one of the things that cemented me into a Like a Dragon fan. And it makes sense too. This moment captures the whole mood of the series. Ridiculous comedy amid a dark crime drama. One night, Kiryu enters a cabaret club at the request of Majima, expecting to be greeted by a beautiful hostess, but to his surprise, he's greeted by a beautiful... hostess?
Domo, Goromi desu.
Goromi's appearance is definitely an iconic Majima moment, and it's not just a one Goromi show. Kiryu playing along with his Majima Nisan's crazy whims also makes this one of the side quests of all time. So what happens next is a cabaret club date minigame. While Kiryu has a more serious version of this minigame elsewhere in the game, considering Majima's experience with the cabaret management minigame, it also feels like a cheeky little throwback to Majima's old occupation, a little reminder of his time at Sunshine. Also, just because Goromi is a gentle, ladylike hostess doesn't mean she can't throw a good kick, in a tube top and high heels no less. We're continuing the Yakuza Kiwami 1 train with our encounter with Majima Nisan in the brothel. Kiryu is on the run from the Dojima clan, and word gets out that he is in this brothel. This leads to a sequence where he has to escape the building, crawling with Tojo clan thugs. But that's when he runs into the guy himself, who has grabbed the hostage, a girl just trying to run away from all the chaos. While taking the poor girl hostage, Majima notices that she's quite a looker, and asks if she wants to be his girl. She declines, saying she already has someone. Air is tense. Kiryu tells Majima not to do anything, and Majima says,
そうか、正直な子や。え、それで？ほれ、ここ危ないで。はよ行き。
He just lets her go, just like that. This is a scene that shows the two sides of Majima. On the one side, we have chaotic Mad Dog, but also, he's still the same Majima who took care of Makoto in Zero. There's a lot of discussion around whether Majima's crazy is just an act. And while we won't get deep into that here, this scene shows a glimpse of how that may be a valid theory. Let's look at the moment he has the lady hostage. He purposely has the blade pointed away from the girl his whole time, showing the possibility that he never intended to do any harm and just wanted to show off his persona to Kiryu. It's a short scene, but it also shows the weird complexity that is Majima's character. We're in the last parts of Yakuza 5, and Kurosawa Tsubasa, chairman of the Omi Alliance, is now moving to eliminate influential people of the Tojo clan in order to take it over. As part of his plan, he kidnaps Majima and holds him hostage. As Saejima comes in to confront Kurosawa, he takes out his trump card, a chained-up Majima. While this is all happening, Haruka is pursuing her dreams, performing in front of a live audience as an idol. Kurosawa then gives Saejima an ultimatum: fight to the death with Majima, or someone assassinates Haruka during her performance. You'd think this was a hard decision to make, but Majima himself steps in and says,
やらんかったら5万人の目の前で夢が散る。俺らが死んだところで悲しむ人間はそうはおらん。
Majima may be the mad dog, but even he understands that Haruka still has so much of her life ahead of her, especially compared to both him and Saejima, who have lived most of their lives in the dark underbelly of society. Much like the last entry, it also calls to mind the Majima of Yakuza 0, who fought to protect a helpless Makoto, even though 5 came out before 0 did. Kiryu is dead, at least to the rest of the world by the end of Yakuza 6. We're only left to imagine what all the people closest to him felt about this situation. When Like a Dragon Gaiden, the game whose name is too long, came out, we were given a chance to see what it was like from Kiryu's perspective. However, towards the end of the game, we were also given a glimpse of how the aforementioned people close to him felt about his supposed death, when he unexpectedly showed up during the dissolution of the Tojo clan and the Omi alliance. Both Majima and Saejima were the first people to say,
やっぱり生きとったか。帰ってきよったな。
showing full belief that Kiryu isn't someone who would easily go down like that. After their little scuffle, Majima proposes that they eat out to celebrate the end of the biggest Yakuza groups, and of course invites Kiryu. When Kiryu refuses, Majima puts on a rare display of having his heart on his shoulder, wearing an expression that made me feel a tightness in my chest.
せやから、まだ帰んなや。
Majima expressing a genuine desire for Kiryu to stay a while longer definitely got me. This is also followed up by one of the coolest team-up battles in Yakuza, so that's pretty rad too.
登場会最後の花火だ。なんやこいつら。
From the latter part of the timeline to the earliest chronologically, we're going back to Yakuza 0. At the end of Yakuza 0, we finally see Majima don his usual garb. We follow Majima wrapping up his Yakuza 0 story arc, his final meeting with both Sagawa and Makoto. Both are emotionally heavy and significant to Majima's character, but what we're focusing on here is the iconic last scene. Bathed in the neon lights of Kamurocho, two men stand opposite each other on Tenkai Ichidori. The drums bang, signaling the intro to one of the most iconic themes of the series, Receive You. They take knowing glances at each other. Majima says his iconic line,
Yo. Kiryu-chan!
For those playing the series from Zero, it's a foreshadowing of things to come. For the longtime fans, it takes them on a flash forward to all of Majima's greatest hits. From the end of Majima's Yakuza 0 story, we go back to the start of Majima's Yakuza 0 story. Whether Yakuza 0 was your first Yakuza or your nth, there was just something about Majima's intro that really struck everyone. For the longtime fans, it was the shock of seeing Majima as someone calm, professional, and well put together. For the new players, it was, who is this mysterious, suave, cool, eye-patched man? The way they built up the Grand and its manager with these NPC corpo dudes' conversation, Majima's entrance, the way he handled that rowdy customer with the grace and elegance of a well-coordinated dance, left everyone playing Yakuza 0 with their jaws on the ground. As someone who entered the series through Yakuza 0, there's no doubt in my mind that this scene made a Yakuza fan out of me. Also Kiryu casually fishing up a shark in Tokyo Bay, but that's a whole different story. Before we move on to our last favorite moment, let's have a quick montage of some honorable mentions. Hit it, Majima!
一丁景気のやれや。素直に I love you 届けようきっと You love me 伝わるさ君に合うガラスの靴を探そう二人で Step and Go いつまでも深夜12時を過ぎたって君は僕の愛しい24時間シンデレラ
We've mentioned her throughout the video here and there, and it wouldn't be fair if she didn't get an entry of her own. Makimura Makoto is one of the key characters of Yakuza 0 and would eventually be the tie that binds Kiryu's and Majima's destinies together. During the events of Yakuza 0, various underworld groups were looking to either capture her or kill her. Even Majima was ordered to assassinate her. However, Majima couldn't bring himself to kill this innocent, helpless girl who couldn't even see because of some horrible trauma. He even went above and beyond, protecting her to the very end, even developing feelings for her. However, Makoto doesn't even know his name. Even though she eventually recovers her sight, she's never seen Majima and doesn't recognize him when they meet again. In the end, however, Majima knows he's already deep in the underground world, and maybe not knowing him is for the best. Best that she doesn't get further involved with him and just disappears from Makoto's life altogether. Fast forward years later, Majima finds himself in the city where it all started, Sotenbori, in front of the store where it all started, Hogoshikaikan. While looking for someone, he is somehow cajoled into getting a massage from none other than the shop's best masseuse, Tateyama. Majima waits on the massage bed but is surprised when a familiar face enters the room, Makoto. Tateyama was the name of the doctor she eventually got married to. Majima shuts up because he knows if he speaks, she'll know. He receives the massage in silence, even though Makoto is definitely putting the pressure on him, and we get to see these lovely expressions out of him. She somehow opens up about why Hogoshikaikan is back up, and why she's in Sotenbori again. It was all in the hope that she could meet her faceless, nameless savior from 18 years ago. She regrets not being able to say thank you after all he's done, not knowing he's right at her fingertips, literally. After the massage, Makoto offers Majima a membership card and asks how the massage was. And Majima answers,
お体楽になりましたか?
おかげで18年もののコリが取れたわ。
It's an emotional reunion that brings some closure to the Majima Makoto story arc, and for sure brought tears to some players' eyes. Those are our favorite Majima moments. I'm sure Majima has more moments that you all loved that weren't included in this list, so feel free to tell us in the comments below. We're all looking forward to more Majima goodness as Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is just on the horizon. Watch out for our review of that when it comes out. Subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Like the video if you liked. Check out this video we made about Kiryu's character development in Infinite Wealth. This has been Game8, and we'll see you out in the open seas.